All right, so the recording requested. So I actually finally got the Rhino steps in, and they were kind of a pain. Some of it was easy, and some of it was difficult. The motors, putting the motors on, was relatively easy, and of course putting the steps was uneasy. The hardest part was the wiring and feeding it underneath here. So this is what it looks like. Actually, it's very good for the pinch welds. It hides it very well. Sorry, a little dirty too. All right, let me show you what it looks like open. Shoots out. You can see this light underneath. Somebody asked me about the size. So, see, I'm size 10 and a half shoe, so it's about as wide as it gets, but plenty of like leeway on there for it. And yep. So I don't know, if I had a lift, I would show you the undercarriage of it, but kind of explain what I had to go through to do it. Let me see if I can put it down here. All right. So, kind of basics of what I had to go through. So I had to take this part out, and for the 2-door, it was probably easy on the on the 4-door, but I had to take this part out too. Let's see here, this part, and I had to take this. Well, somebody had suggested taking the seats out. I actually have under seat lighting, so I couldn't completely take out the seat because I had to disconnect the lighting. So what I did is I actually unbolted the seat, two the bolts there, pop that off, pop this one off, pop this one off, I had to unscrew it, and basically what I did is I just moved the seat forward, pop those off too, and that one, that's part of the wiring, and had to pull Sandy, stay here, stay, and had to pull this, come here, stay. All right, and had to basically pull this piece out to get into the wiring in the back there, especially for the magnet. And the hardest part was, we've seen, is to get the wiring inside. You know, most of it's underneath, but there is one of the door sensor wire that has to go under the carpet. So you actually literally have to take, take these out, and had to bring the carpet, say, up, bring it up, and get it over the hump. I actually went the other way, got a coat hanger, and fed. It's a white wire. Had to feed the wire kind of over the hump. I actually had to feel it and get it to this side in order to hook it up for the magnet. And then you had to measure the magnet. It's just the same, just like the directions, like six inches from the bottom there. Same thing for that down there. And door should close. Oops, close it tight, open. And if somebody plans to do this, and they do it themselves, just have to remember that to get it even, to get it beyond this plastic piece, well, especially if you have a Wildtrak, I'm not sure if you have this piece, but to make sure it's on this side, because it won't fully retract if it catches this side. And for this side, like I said, the same thing. I had to take this piece off, I had to take this piece out. This basically just snaps off. I had to kind of, it was a little bit too extra wiring, so I kind of just ran it back and forth. I do have the, let's say it's a kill switch, but the switch for the Rhino steps to turn it off. I just snuck it underneath there for now. I haven't mounted it yet, but I did the same thing. I had to take the seat off its mount, move it all the way forward, and basically afforded me a little bit of carpet space, because the carpet's on here, to get underneath the carpet and like feed my hand underneath there. Like I said, very difficult. Wire tie makes it much easier, but if you can get somebody to do it, I would. It took me just about, I say, 4 or 5 hours to do the whole thing with a friend, to get the wiring underneath there. Like I said, if I had a lift, I would show you what it looks like underneath. But I said that's relatively easy part. The hard part is getting the sensor wire for this sensor on the other side. You said the wiring comes up through the drain plug there, which is kind of like right underneath here, and just like the actually the Motoroso installation guide is a good guide for that. But feed it up there, it has say run some extra wiring in there, but to run that one sensor wire inside underneath the rug is kind of the hardest part. It's better if you have somebody, because like I said, you have to get on the other side and feel it coming through. Makes it a lot easier. And like I said, if I'd show you like what it is underneath if I had a lift. But like I said, the motor mounts, or getting them on there, is pretty easy. The only thing with mine, 2-door, and I don't know if anybody else has probably this, the module did not fit. And let me see if I get it here for you. Did not fit in any place easy. So put it up here a little bit. You can see some of the wiring up here. You can see the motor mounts there. But I ended up mounting the the control module, off of the exhaust. Yeah, you can see it right there, right off the exhaust thing. Somebody had actually shaved the top of the exhaust mount to fit it correctly. Mine's kind of jimmied in there. I only have one connection on there, but it's pretty solid connection, stays there pretty good. And if you can see the wire ties a little bit on the frame there, so you can I ran it over, and you have to run it over the gas tank. He said that's probably a relatively easy part, especially with some help.